Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me for a care package episode today. Have a bubble mailer in front of you that, as you can see, came in from the YouTube channel Walk and Balk. And Brian over at Walk and Balk is an awesome guy. As always, I'll leave a link below. In the event that you're not subscribed to him, definitely get on over there. Tell him I sent you, say hello, watch some videos. Just a really solid dude. Very glad I've become friendly with Brian here on the platform in the last year to year and a half. Just really enjoy talking the hobby with him and love his collection. And Brian's a big basketball guy, but recently has been getting into some hockey over the last year, which is something I've actually been hearing a lot of and I love. Does collect obviously baseball and other sports as well. Amazing autographed collection. If you're a fan of autographed cards, try to check out his tabletop response that he did for G's Mikey's contest recently. Whole entire tabletop of just slabbed autos. So we have a nice note here. Shane, I hope these cards find you well. Thanks for your friendship. My PayPal account probably disagrees with that sentiment since you converted me into a hockey collector in addition to my other collecting exploits. So you're welcome, and I'm sorry, Brian. I hope you enjoy the cards. Congrats on winning my Stanley Cup slab contest. Let's do it again next year, Brian. So let me explain a little bit while I'm unwrapping the cards here, what Brian is referring to with respect to the slab contest. So I have a running text thread between Brian, myself, Sean from Sean Stuff, and Peeps here on YouTube. The four of us are all hockey fans and hockey collectors and just friends at this point, quite honestly. It's been long enough. And a while ago, Brian was really cool. He reached out on the thread and was like, I would like to do a contest for the Stanley Cup playoffs. I want the three of you to reply to me with who you think the two teams in the final are going to be, who's going to win it, and in how many games as a tiebreaker. And long story short, Sean was eliminated somewhat early, but Peeps and I were in kind of a nail biter right down to the finish. I think we both chose the right teams in the final, which is pretty awesome. And it came down to a difference in number of games for the series to be finished. So I just edged out Josh. And in order to reward me for that, Brian, he had said out right at the beginning that whoever won would get a slab of either a team of their choice or the Stanley Cup winning team. And so I've got here an envelope. We'll probably save this to the end of the video. To the victor goes the spoils. Congrats on your victory in the Walk and Balk Stanley Cup contest. Slab contest, that is. So we'll get to that one at the end. I don't know what's in there. I told Brian, the Avalanche is fine with me. They just won. Don't have a ton of Avalanche in my collection. So I was like, you know what? We'll go with the cup winning team. And Brian just picked something out. So I have no idea what's in that envelope, but that's going to be exciting. But just because he's an awesome guy, Brian did include some stray cards here in two other envelopes, which we're going to take a peek at before we get to that slab. So here is the first team set bag, and here's a nice Andrew Jones card here out of Upper Deck. Now, this is interesting to me. Oh, it looks like actually this is maybe a small subset of these. Okay, these are a parallel, I think, because I'm familiar with this Upper Deck set. What was cool about these, this is, I believe, 97 Upper Deck, if I'm not mistaken. But what was cool about these is there's a caption on the front of every card that actually tells you what date the photo is from and gives you a little bit of context for the photo. So I absolutely love that, and have quite a few of these. I have not really taken a run at a complete set or anything, but I do kind of hang on to these when I get them. But again, these look like parallel. There's some type of foil effect going on in the background there. It looks almost like Dufex or something. Upper Deck's take on Dufex, but just beautiful. How about this Mo Vaughn? 3 hits against the Blue Jays on May 5th, 96. Beautiful cards. Was not expecting these at all. Thank you so much, Brian. We got Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. I'd say like a top 5 hitter of the 1990s, easily. Albert Bell, dude, was a monster back in the day. Mark McGuire, great shot there. Upper Deck just had really, really top-notch photography. And check out this Jeter. Love this one. It's got the shades flipped up, going back for presumably a fly ball. But man, these cards just look amazing. Gonna have to do a little research when I hit the record button here to stop this video on exactly what these are. We got an A-Rod. Juan Gonzalez, love this guy. When I was a kid in the early 90s, he was like an RBI producing machine. And then check it out, we close out with Ken Griffey Jr., the kid. Just amazing. So very, very cool grouping of cards there. Love those, right up my alley. I love the 90s. I love shine, I love parallels. Brian knows all of that about me and my collecting interests, so he just felt those were appropriate, and they sure were. So thank you, Brian. And then we got another little stack here. We've got a shiny Xander right out of the gate from Prism, and this is perfect. I know I don't have this card, and I've been talking for practically about as long as I've been on YouTube here, like well over a year, about my Xander Bogaerts Z Folio. It's an entire 360 card Z Folio that I'm filling with Xander cards, and I've had multiple requests to just show it already. So I'm really trying to get a little bit closer to where that thing is full so I can do an episode here on the channel where I show you the Z Folio and we kind of just page through it one page at a time. It's really starting to look cool, and this one is going to get me a little bit closer. Do not have this and have plenty of Prism parallels like this in the Z, so that is fantastic. Got a rock solid foundation Pedro here. And check this out, this one has like a rainbow foil finish to it. I don't recall ever having seen this card in my life, but I love it. He's got like the equipment bag here, bat sticking out. He's reviewing, can't tell what that is, Expos. Oh, you know what, he may be signing autographs. It looks like that's like a program or something like that for a game for the Expos, but what a shot. Expos, warm-up jacket on. And I was talking to a friend about this recently, but I think, between Greg Maddux and Pedro Martinez, those two guys back-to-back kind of represented the best pitchers in all of Major League Baseball from like the early 90s through the early 2000s. So super cool to get that one. I'm kind of going on a little bit long here, but just an awesome card. I love Pedro and really, really appreciate that one, Brian. Here's a cool Jackie Robinson. This is from some type of a tribute from Collector's Choice. Looks like a 50th anniversary of Jackie's debut in Major League Baseball, most likely, but really nice photo there, just $1 million smile. And you can't go wrong with getting a Jackie Robinson card from any era and any manufacturer. Guy is, or was amazing. Here's a Mo Vaughn from Collector's Choice. And check it out, another cool Griffey card here. Capture the Flag, I've never heard of this. Again, another one that is dated, September 19th, 1996, Mariners versus Rangers. How about the shine on this? I've shown Griffey cards a few times on the channel. Griffey collectors are insane, so I can't compete with, serious Griffey collectors, but I love Griffey as a child of the 90s, and I do have kind of a small Griffey collection that I've been building up. Here's a nice one, Juan Soto Lumber Incorporated from Panini Prism. Do not have this Soto, and that's another one that will go directly into the Soto / Devers Z Folio that I've got going alongside the Xander. And then here's a nice, oh, check it out. This is a buyback here. 75 Topps Ray Fosse. But if you look closely, there is a silver foil Topps 75 stamp in the upper right. And that tells me this is a buyback from the 2014 Topps buyback program. This is fantastic. Looks like, I don't know if maybe this is a different penny sleeve or if you got this for 50 cents, Brian, but thanks for looking out for me. Either way, I'll have to take a look and see if this makes the Franken set at card number 486. Very, very cool Ray Fosse buyback there. And man, sticking on the buyback train for a second here, got a Heritage box topper. These are my favorite types of buybacks. They have the 50th anniversary giant foil stamp every year. With the original year of the card and then the year of the Heritage set on each side of the stamp. They're gorgeous. You got only one per box as a box topper, really less than one per box because there were other types of box toppers as well every year. But this is a beautiful Gordon Jones. And I think I've told Brian this, but in addition to doing the Franken set, I have a Z Folio that contains all my castaways from the Franken set that are Heritage buybacks like this. So one way or another, this card is going into a binder in my collection. That is simply fantastic. So I'm gonna put this one up in the background as well. And then we've got a Whalers card here, and this is not the first Whalers buyback that I've gotten from Brian. And if this is not evidence that he knows me and my collection well, I don't know what is. Check this out. This is from the Leaf Pro Set Memory Set that was put out last year. They did these buybacks of Pro Set cards from the early 90s, just 5 copies a piece. This is copy 5 of 5, you can see here. And it's Ivan Korovo for the Hartford Whalers. Now, he wasn't a big player, but I distinctly remember him as a huge Whalers fan throughout the 90s. And I just love the rarity of buyback cards. So yeah, hitting me in the Whalers PC with a buyback is probably one of the best ways to bring a smile to my face hobby-wise. And the fact that Brian's done that more than once now is simply incredible. In fact, let me take a look. I think I do have right here, because I keep it kind of handy, the first buyback that Brian sent me that I was just speaking of, which is a 1-of-1 in the upper right there, Randy Ladouceur from the Upper Deck buyback release a couple years ago. So just kind of cool that I had that one sitting by. Was not expecting to get another Whalers buyback today to join that. But Brian, you are just crushing it. It is not easy at this point in my Whalers collecting journey to find Whalers cards that I actually need. But a buyback is a pretty safe bet in terms of ways to do that. So super awesome. And then we'll close it out here with the unknown slab that I won in the Stanley Cup contest. So whatever you sent here, Brian, was certainly more than anyone would expect, and it was really kind of you to put this together. And let's see what was picked out for me. Sweet. Young Guns Bowen Byram CSG 8.5. And I've talked about this numerous times, but I love the CSG slab. I have actually yet to get a new flip with the dark black flip. All I have are these, original greens that seem to be kind of disliked for some reason, but I love these. I will check out a new flip at some point because I know the plastic is the same, and as everybody says, and I wholeheartedly agree, CSG has the best plastic in the grading game. These are crystal clear, and what an awesome Young Guns here of a promising young defenseman for the Avalanche. On the squad with Makar. So Avalanche looking very, very strong in the defensive and offensive positions for years to come here, coming off their Stanley Cup championship. And of course, the Young Gun is the rookie as far as hockey cards go. If you watched one of my recent videos, I did a history of hockey cards and broke it down into eras. And in the modern era that we are in right now, as collectors mentioned, and I think everybody would agree that as far as standard rookie cards go, the Young Guns card is king. So this is just perfect. So generous of you, Brian. I really, really appreciate it. And, as with any cards that I receive from friends of mine in the hobby, this is like 10 times cooler than if I had gone out and bought this myself, because anytime I look at that card in my collection going forward, I'll not only think of it as, the Bowen Byram Young Guns and that it's a cool card in and of itself, but I will associate it with our friendship and our text thread that we have and our contest that went on around the Cup finals. And just nice to have some collecting memories to associate with the card. I think at the end of the day, that's what the hobby's all about. You've certainly provided me plenty of those, Brian, in this first year or two of knowing you. Happy to consider you a friend, and truly, truly appreciate all of these fantastic cards. So huge thank you again. You're the man, Brian. And if anyone out there, again, is not familiar with Walk and Balk, please do me a favor and check the link. Head over there and give him a sub. He is as solid a guy as you are going to meet in the hobby. So thank you, Brian. And thank you to everybody else who spent some time stopping by to check out this tremendous care package. And I will be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Until then, enjoy the hobby and stay safe.